Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night. What a mortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize with fire? And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? What the hammer, what the chain, in what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil, what dead grasp dare its deadly terrors clasp? When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? It's about now you run the titles.
Okay.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more.
That poem by William Blake, by the way, boys and girls, was about Madge Arwell, and she's been in touch. Tell them.
Well, it wasn't pleasant, put it that way.
No.
I mean, I picked up the telephone, and it almost burned my hand off. And the amount of abuse that came down the line from that woman, honestly.
You know she's the Aunty-Christ, don't you?
The Aunty-Christ, yeah.
Aunty-Christ.
She's so caring and loving on the outside, and yet inside she's a pure sphere of bubbling evil.
She's full of maggots.
I actually have, I'm wondering whether we should deploy our secret weapon.
What, John Levine?
No, worse than that.
You sure?
His name appears at the end of these shows.
I'm absolutely sure.
If we were to lock Howard and Madge in a room...
No. Unless we can find some way of harnessing the power released.
What, like a sort of fission reactor?
I'm thinking fusion.
That's the one. But I'd be interested to know who would win such a contest.
I don't think the Earth could handle it. Anyway, hello there. Welcome to the Flushing Back Podcast. I'm Siobhan, and with me is Giuseppe, otherwise known as...
It's me, Mario.
I was going to say Dr. Sinister, but there we go. News.
This is the news.
Right, we have news.
I've got a bit of news.
Go on.
The news is that Madge Arwell's causing me so many problems, I can only put one show out a week for a little while.
Oh, that's true. You can only do the one show. Yeah. Hang on. She's there.
Really? Rather you than me.
Marvel have announced Phase 3. Phase 3, even.
Yeah, but I know what happens in Phase 4.
What, us?
It's the ants.
Okay, May the 6th, 2016. Captain America, Civil War. Now, remember this all the stuff I've been talking about when we've been discussing Marvel?
Yeah, you see, I've got the Winter Soldier here and I haven't watched it yet.
Wait and see. Okay, November the 4th, 2016. Doctor Strange.
That's Benedict, isn't it?
Well, we think it's Benedict Cumberbatch. I don't know if it's been 100% confirmed.
I thought it had.
Oh, well, if it has, brilliant. May the 5th, 2017, Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
I haven't seen the first one.
No, not yet. I want to, though. And then July the 28th, 2017, Thor.
Are you?
Ragnarok.
Oh, right. Does he end up in a circus?
Don't know. November the 3rd, 2017, Black Panther. T'Challa finally comes to the screen.
I know nothing.
May the 4th, 2018, Avengers, The Infinity War, Part 1. Now, we've already seen Thanos, or Thanos, as they say it, at the end of the first Avengers film. Then, July the 6th, 2018, Captain Marvel. This is brilliant. November the 2nd, 2018, The Inhumans. They're really going cosmic with this.
It's very, very ambitious.
It is. I mean, seriously, they're going so cosmic, it's silly. And then May the 3rd, 2019, Avengers, Infinity War Part 2. It's brilliant. Oh, I'm just sitting here going, yeah. Seriously, for a Marvel fan like myself, this is just, oh, isn't this wonderful?
I saw a book the other day that I thought you might like.
Really?
It was a Haynes manual of all the vehicles in Marvel Comics.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Mm.
That'd be cool. Who was I talking to who didn't like the fact that Lola flies?
Who's Lola?
Lola, Coulson's car in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh, Zoe. That's right. Oh, very quickly, Time Tunnel Media. This Halloween, I don't know if this is going to be out by then, but...
should be.
TimeTunnelMedia.co.uk. Their new two-hander thing will be out. Halloween special, Patrick Troughton thing. Chris Thompson's been nominated for an award for his portrayal as the Second Doctor. Fair dues, he deserves it. Hats off to you, Chris. Okay, and now, from the worlds of, yes, BBC Television's Doctor Who. It's sad. Oh, my word. It's Tales of the Unexpected. Hello there. Little Maeve, bless her. Damn tsetse flies. Little Maeve is running through the forest. And she, because one of the Claras has got into her head and told her to find the Doctor. This is the 14th Doctor Who. I have to admit, the ship looked great in the forest. She suited it. Anyway, she finds Doctor who basically says you need an appointment.
I can see a cat in your kitchen.
What am I going to do?
On top of something.
Yeah, it wasn't that. I went to Primark yesterday. And I put the bag on the floor, big paper bag, for the cats to jump in. So they did. And then Trixie jumped on top of the bag. That's what that noise was. Trixie's my dog. But
Oh, we could have had a guess the noise competition.
You can edit that explanation out if you like.
That's fine.
Anyway, so, yes. And Doctor Who says you need an appointment to see him. And there's lots of trees everywhere. Right, now, we disagree over this. I say this is Doctor Who and the Invasion of the Trees. As Target would have it, or
yeah, I think it's
or Target would actually have it as Doctor Who and the Tree Invasion. The second edition of which would be a picture of St Paul's Cathedral with a tree in front of it, but the first edition would be Capaldi sort of going like that as Nelson's column breaks in the middle and falls towards him, and you would have the crack written across the title.
Alternatively, if it was produced, if it was a Target novel from the early 1980s, it would have a stock photo that bears no resemblance to the contents of the story.
Yes. And what was your title?
Doctor Who and the Jungle of Fear.
Ooh, that's very Hartnell.
It's very Hartnell, but it also is quite apt with the storyline, I think, because there was a lot of fear.
And acceptance.
And burning.
Yes. We need to get to that. I'm going to have a whinge afterwards.
Oh dear.
But basically, that a forest has grown up all over the world, producing lots and lots of oxygen by an indigenous race of tiny, tiny, tiny little people. Fairies, essentially. I mean, this essentially was fairy tale stuff. You had Hansel and Gretel, you had Little Red Riding Hood. Danny and Clara are looking after some kids in the museum, an overnight thing. The kids were fine. They weren't irritating in the slightest. Quite funny in places, actually. And Capaldi, it was lovely seeing Capaldi interact with kids, because he treats them just the same as adults. But because it's children, it comes across differently. It's hard to explain. It's as if with adults, that would seem really rude, but with kids, it isn't.
Kids talk very directly.
And there's this wonderful, wonderful scene where he's trying to find Maeve amongst all the kids, because he's visual recognition shit.
Well, they all look the same to him.
Maeve, and one of the kids starts going on about, oh no, she's lost in the forest. She's going to die, just as Capaldi reaches her, and he goes, ah! And he totally believes it. For a second you think, is he being sarky? And then you realise, no, he's genuinely scared. Sorry, I'll shut up. You're looking at me. What's the matter?
I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at my camera.
That's the finger.
You see, this is the thing, is if I was looking at you, then it looks like I'm being rude to the audience.
That's the problem I've got. It's
So I end up essentially staring fixedly into this camera with only peripheral vision of what you're actually doing.
See, my camera's at the top, so I look like that. And when I was reading the poetry's on the left of the screen, you see, so didn't quite work as I wanted it to. In the Forest of the Night. What a beautiful show. What a beautiful show. There was mild threat. No real scares. It was the concept that was frightening. And how people reacted to it. Whether the reaction was genuine or not, I don't know. Would someone not prefer to save the children? What are you doing with your tongue?
Flicking it.
Okay. It's very Sontaran of you.
Oh.
Field Marshal Sinister strikes again.
Are you mocking my height?
Ah, dear, scratchy pelvic vent. There's a good chat. I'm absolutely blown away by it. I watched it again last night, and I'm thinking, look, can I move on to my rant?
Okay. Do I need a graphic?
I don't know yet. We'll see. I watched it again last night because so many people have slagged this off. I can't see it. I absolutely adored this. It was beautiful. It was haunting. It was charming. It's not everyday Doctor Who, no. But who says Doctor Who has to be everyday Doctor Who? Is there an everyday Doctor Who? Unless you're looking at Pertwee. Things have changed. Things have moved on. They've certainly moved on from the RTD era, and I think they moved on from the Matt Smith era. For a start, Capaldi, I cannot see anybody else in the role at the moment. He's magnetic. I want to see more and more and more Capaldi. He's just... My eyes are riveted to him whenever he's on. It's... wow, basically. And this was so out of the blue.
Out of the green.
Yeah, that Queen, the colour for all forests is Queen.
That's going to be the title of this episode.
What, Queen? This.
No!
There's so many people slagging this series off.
The target novel would be Doctor Who and the Green Life.
Ooh! If you know what you think the target novelisation should be called, email us at bladeflashing.
Whatever this is. Sorry, please continue with your rant. I interrupted you.
And I'm sick to death of people slagging the show off. I really, really am. It's one thing, yes, have your own opinion. No one would ever dare criticise you for that. But some people are just starting to slag it off for the sake of slagging it off now. Oh, I've hated it for weeks and weeks and weeks. Well, stop bloody watching. Go away. I mean, don't get me wrong. If someone has a genuine cause and can put it out there, talk about it and whatever, fine. Sinister and I, in fact, all the time I've been podcasting, if I don't like something, I say I don't like it. As proven in the past. I'm not like some of these new series fans, no offence to them, but everything's brilliant because it's new. You know, you can't slag it off. You can slag it off. But I don't want to because I'm totally in love with this series. I really, really am. It's utterly blown away by it. Go on. You can put a graph up if you want to.
So, my thoughts on this episode.
Will I need a graph?
No. I Maeve doing the old.
Damn tsetse flies.
This is not something I say very often, and I'm not saying this is any kind of sympathy thing. My son is autistic. It's very mild, but he has his ways about him, and he will run around the house doing this. And my wife and I were watching this episode, and she said, that's like Anthony. I was like, yeah, it is like Anthony. So there was kind of a little bit of a connection there. So getting back to the episode...
Well, can I back to you on that a second?
Yeah, go on.
Some people have criticised it as basically saying you're telling people not to use medication. It's giving the wrong message out.
I don't have my son on medication.
But what do you make of the message? Was that what they were saying?
I didn't get that at all. It was... There was a certain view expressed about medication, but
It seemed pro-medication, to be honest. Everyone's going, she needs her medication.
Yeah, to kind of... So that she could be, for want of a better word, normal. You said a minute ago, what's normal Doctor Who?
What's a normal person?
Thank you very much. You took the words out of my mouth. What's a normal person? Are you a normal person?
I bloody well hope not.
I hope I'm not a normal person. I know damn well I'm not perfect. But it's like I said a couple of shows ago. Be yourself, because everyone else is taken. You know?
Less fear, more trust.
Yeah, and... Do you know, years and years and years... I apologise if I'm having a bit of a rant now.
No, you're allowed. I'll get the graph ready.
Years and years and years, I've been trying to toe the line and appear to be normal. Right? Now, I've had a bit of an epiphany over the last year. You know why. I'm not going to go into that now. And I've just come to the view that, fuck it, excuse my language, I'm 43 now, I'm going to be myself. And if people don't like that, that's their problem, not mine.
Good.
And as a result of that, I feel so much more confident in myself now. You know?
Well, you're improving, Sinister. It's all down to my influence, of course. You can't take any credit.
To be honest with you,
sorry.
Your influence has probably got a lot to do with it, because I don't like going out much, and yet you make me go out of the house and do stuff.
I'm so sorry, please.
Which I absolutely bloody hate you for, but... Right. Sorry for that minor diversion.
I was joking, okay.
We should have an episode where we just rant. That would be brilliant.
Each other? Or just...
Can we do that?
What, just two miserable old gits?
Let rip.
Yeah, okay.
Right, I'm going to talk about this episode now. This episode was absolutely stunning.
It was, wasn't it?
I tell you what, I absolutely adored the camera work in this episode. There was a fantastic bit when Maeve enters the TARDIS and the camera follows the Doctor up the stairs and they're walking along the gantry at the top of the TARDIS, and it's just kind of, it's a beautiful shot because you got to see, you really got the impression that you were on board the TARDIS, and then there were scenes later on where the children were on board and the Doctor led them kind of downstairs and you could still see the door, and it was just, I love little things like that.
The fact that they've got a complete 360 set is a gift for directors.
Have they actually got a 360 set?
Yeah.
Because I couldn't, because the camera did stop on that, and I thought, maybe that's because they've opened.
Well, you see,
yeah,
if you could get a day off,
I know.
we could go to Cardiff and go on to the TARDIS set.
I know things are a bit mad at the moment.
I'm just saying, is all.
The camera work in this was, imagery was beautiful. The camera work was beautiful. Like you said, there was a mystery in the show, but there wasn't. The only monster was a tiger, really. And to be honest with you, that tiger was probably as confused as everybody else as to what the bloody hell was going on. So, you know, people saying, oh, you can distract a tiger with a bit of light. This tiger was already disorientated. You know? I don't choose to regard the floaty things as fairies. I regard them as an alien life form of some kind, or a form of life alien to humans, put it that way, right? I didn't have a problem with that.
Alien to Earth?
Well, no, they've been there for a long time, they said, didn't they?
This is it.
Anyway, it was a lovely character piece.
Yes, it was.
I thought. I did think London was a little bit deserted.
That's down to budgetary reasons.
I know. And that was a little tiny bit jarring. As for the government's idea of burning the routes through the forest, was utter lunacy in the first place, but that's exactly the sort of thing a government would do. Because they're stupid, all of them.
And it was sort of said these routes will be for only, what's the word?
Emergency.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
What?
There was something else I was going to say.
It had to do with hats.
So getting back to your point, so I sent you a text on the night, and I said, and I'll find it because I was looking at all the feedback online, and I was utterly perplexed as to where this hatred was coming from.
But it's been building over the year.
So I wrote to you,
the series.
I am really struggling to comprehend the hatred some people have for tonight's episode. And I said it was utterly brilliant. I stand by that. I have not had a chance to watch it again because I've been just too busy. But that's not through want of not watching it again. Now, the thing is, there are people online who say they just don't get this Doctor, they just don't get this series, and they feel really jealous of those who do get it, blah, blah, blah. And going back to your point earlier, there's no such thing as a normal Doctor Who story. I do agree with you. That's not to say I wouldn't mind a bit of traditional stuff every now and then, and we've had enough of that this year. We've had traditional stuff, but if we were watching the same programme all this time, it wouldn't have lasted 50 years, for one thing. So it's got to change, it's got to do something different, and bloody hell was this different.
This year has been about characters.
It's been about characters. I know I got a bit flaky on Kill the Moon, but we revisited that last week, and I just
I'm not exactly convinced by Time Heist. So
this episode was just, I was completely gripped throughout. Not gripped as in on the edge of my seat. I was just enthralled by what was going on.
You see, again, I watched it again last night because I knew we were recording tonight, and I thought, all right, I'm going to go through it again. Did I get it wrong? All this negativity, did I get this wrong? Did I think, did I miss something? Is it really terrible? It isn't. It's hauntingly beautiful. People going on about the Rings of Akatan as, oh God, it's dreadful. Again, because of all the song and just the imagery and this, that and the other with it, that was beautiful too. And there is room for beauty in Doctor Who, and this is what this was.
and there is room to step outside of the traditional framework. It's the sort of show that can do
based
that.
Under Siege.
People go on and on about how Doctor Who can go to any time, at any point of the universe, and visit any planet. And so, Rings of Akaten aside, I maintain that I still don't like it, right? But hey, it's different. It went for it. But the thing is, when stuff does step outside of the norm, that's when people go, "Oh, I don't like that."
It's when storytelling goes out of the norm.
Yeah.
During JNT's era, this would have been called an oddball story.
Absolutely.
Now, look at the people that rave about Greatest Show in the Galaxy or the Happiness Patrol.
I love Greatest Show in the Galaxy.
Or Ghostlight.
This is becoming, this kind of character study, if you like, is becoming more prevalent and is less of an oddball. It's becoming
and I'm hoping it's going to pay off in the series finale.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what's going on there.
We've got it's the first part of which is called Dark Water, and we've got a very special trailer for that at the end of the show.
Exclusive
To the Flashing Blade, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to give your judgment?
Yes, I will give it my judgment.
Go on then.
Do you want to have a guess what my judgment's going to be?
You're going to make it one louder.
One louder?
Yeah.
I see what you did there. Yeah. I can't because the
judgmentometer.
It's fixed.
Go on then.
It's got to be 10.
Good on you.
Got to be.
Right. No, you don't have to apologise for that. If you don't like it, fair enough. Stop watching it. If you're going to keep going on and just moan, I don't enjoy it. People are complaining about the science. My other half looked into this because my other half is clever. She's very clever, actually, scarily clever. A lot cleverer than I am. Let me just find this. I need to scroll down. I did ask her to mail me with this, but I think she's forgotten. She's had it rather busy. Ah, right, yes, the time tunnel thing is called her house. And the angel said unto him, Stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself. But lo, he could not, for the angel was hitting him with his own hands.
Seen that.
What else did I put here? You should never doubt what nobody is sure about.
Yeah, I didn't quite follow that.
Oh, that's a quote from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
The book or the film?
The film.
The first film or the second film?
The first one. Hang on, where the hell have I found this? Here we go. Okay, she's got into an argument with Ian. That's never good.
Ian?
On my Facebook page. Okay, this is my other half, Echo. I basically said, I just thought there was a lot of science in last Saturday's Doctor Who. And she says, a lot more than you'd expect. Since I research this stuff these days, I can explain that it's very true that you need as much of an oxygen cushion in the atmosphere as possible to protect the biosphere when the atmosphere is compressed from its maximum height down to as little as 4,000 miles. Because of solar activity, the atmosphere will compress, will be pushed down. So you need more oxygen to push back. And in this particular instance, all right, they said it was burning off, but it was an airbag just cushioning everything. And it worked. It just, yes, there's a bit of hokiness, how can things grow so quickly and whatever. Fair enough, but do you have to know? Really? Does you have to, as I said a couple of times back, do you have to be spoon-fed everything? Can you not just accept it sometimes?
So people can accept matter transmission and planets being
Well, you said something a while back. It's got to be within its own rules.
Did I say that?
Yeah, it's got to be within the rules of its own storytelling.
I don't think I said that.
You said something like that.
I think you were quoting somebody else who might have said that. I think you might have been quoting our chief scientist.
I don't know. Ah, yes, you could be right there. Yes, it's got to be consistent within its own universal rules. Well, rules change. 50 years. 50
There are races out there capable...
The skies are asleep?
I'm talking in Doctor Who now, right? There are alien races out there who have, over the years, demonstrated different kinds of technology and different ways of meeting similar challenges. I'll give you an example. The Zygons had kind of organic kind of controls to their spaceships.
Organic crystallography.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, there isn't one way to approach everything, and people seem to be willing to accept things like matter transmission, but can't accept a forest appearing overnight. We're not trying to say it's magic. There could be some kind of technology which would do this, which is just as far-fetched as matter transmission.
They're working on matter transmission at the moment, aren't they?
They can teleport photons containing information.
Which is quite impressive.
It's pretty impressive. But somebody once said to me, finding a starship with as in Star Trek here, finding a starship with a functional matter transporter is equivalent to finding a Viking longboat with a cell phone. It's that far advanced beyond what we currently know.
Now, Dr. Sinister is going to fade up the Doctor Who theme you've been hearing. And as soon as I say the final thingy, it'll fade up. That's your cue, by the way.
Thanks for the direct.
And that was Doctor Who. I know what I'm getting for Christmas.
What?
Hang on. I'll say that again in a second. I know what I'm getting for Christmas.
What?
It's related to what you have in your hand.
Is it a Nerf gun?
I'm not saying. I'm not saying what it is.
It's not the Nerf Attacknid, is it? Or Terror Drone?
The what?
So, you can't get it in this country at the moment.
That's your answer.
It's a robot thing with a Nerf magazine on the top, and you can angle it and you can walk it around. It's remote controlled, and essentially, if you were in a Nerf war, you could use this thing to cover your flank.
Yeah, go around the back of them, maybe.
Or you could, if you mounted a camera on it, you could use it as kind of, armed reconnaissance. Send it in for a suicide mission, attack the enemy and drive them into you.
All I'm going to say is, there's a zombie outbreak, I'll be able to kill them without attracting all the attention, all the attention that you would get.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. You will see it after Christmas. Okay. I'm also getting a Genesis of the Daleks microfigure thingy.
Yeah.
3.5-inch one.
I got one of those.
Daleks. I love Daleks. So, anyway, sorry to do this to you.
Oh.
Can you put it up, please? First thing I've got to say is my dog is scared of her.
Right.
Every time we give an example of what Madge Arwell has done,
Dun!
my dog runs out of the room.
I don't blame it.
Her. Anyway, we're getting quite a lot of it. She's been busy.
Oh dear.
This is from Louise Dade. I hope I pronounced it.
Louise. No, Louise is a friend of mine from my Lego days.
Oh, bless.
In fact, Louise made me my little Lego K9 that I've featured in some of my Doctor Hasn't a Clue things.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, this is actually an email, but we won't get out the Black Guardian. I don't think I could handle that war. I blame Madge Arwell. That Madge Arwell. Okay.
Marge Arwell.
I said that incorrectly.
So
I blame that Madge Arwell woman.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Spread the word. For the following crimes against humanity. 1. Cancelling Firefly.
It's just the sort of thing she'd do. Let's have a look at that.
Spite. B.
Shiny.
2.
Yeah.
Christmas decorations in shops before we've even reached Halloween.
Oh, let's have a look at that.
Now, you see, someone across the road, and what day is it today? It's
Tuesday.
the 28th. A couple of days ago, I saw they had decorations up.
Yeah, there's a person outside the bunker's got those shimmery blue curtainy things.
Can't you detonate them?
Can I do what?
Detonate them?
Have I the right?
What, to take down Christmas decorations? How could you doubt it? We're talking about tinsel, the most evil.
But thousands of people would unite in their hatred of Christmas.
We're talking about tinsel, the most evil decoration on the planet. You must complete your mission.
You must complete your mission for the council.
We should have got the Muppets doing this. Oh, sorry, the Muppets haven't been around recently. They will be. We'll do them for Christmas, don't worry. 3 or C.
Uh-huh.
Halloween.
Ooh, yeah. Have I told you my Halloween story?
Oh, no. A Halloween story. I've got on a Halloween story. Please do.
Haven't I told you my Halloween story?
You might have done. I don't know.
So,
Shows I listen.
I don't think I've done it on here. Every year I put up a sign which essentially says, you know, this is the England, not America. Go away. And
I must never introduce you to Echo.
So one year, doorbell rings, and I thought to myself, well, it can't be trick or treat. It's in my mind. I thought it can't be trick or treaters because I've got this sign up, right? So I thought it must be a genuine visitor. So I opened the door, and there's these kids there, trick or treat, and I said, quite politely, I said, no, thank you. I'd rather not, because a couple of years ago, you know, someone threw eggs at my house and my bunker, and I was kind of, you know, saying to them no. Next thing I know, there's this guy, adult guy, in my face.
This was last year.
Huh?
This was last year.
This was like a few years ago.
No, it was last year, wasn't it?
I may have told the story last year on the podcast, but this was a few years ago. There's this guy in my face, shoving his foot in the door, saying, hey, they're only kids, you should, you know, and he starts trying to force his way into the house. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I ended up calling the police out.
I'm sure this happened last year.
I may have talked about it last year, but it didn't happen last year. It happened about 5 years ago.
Okay.
So, I don't do Halloween.
This is E.T.'s fault.
Why?
Madge Arwell released E.T. over here. 4 or D or Ivy. Changing the name of opal fruits to Starburst.
Yeah, she's got track record of doing this sort of thing.
Let's have a look. Lastly, but by no means least, my mother, Hilary,
Hi, Hilary.
would like to blame Madge Arwell for the flood that caused Shefford Library to be closed since July.
Shefford or Sheffield?
Shefford.
Shefford. Where's that?
Well, Shefford, I presume. Let's have a look at it, though. Not quite sure how Madge has done that. In fact, I'm going to be honest with you, you haven't explained any of these.
Do you want me to?
Do you feel like it?
Not really.
Okay, then. Let's just accept now. Let's go for the whole belief strategy.
Okay.
We're
Well,
asking
she
you
is
to be
the Aunty-Christ.
Hmm?
She is the Aunty-Christ.
Exactly. Hello, Tango. Tango's here.
We're going to have to do a Facebook page for this now.
What, blame Madge Arwell?
The Aunty-Christ, yeah.
There are some on Facebook. Do you want any more? for this episode? Or
Let's have one more.
One more. Okay. Paula Acton.
Hi.
She suspects that Madge might have been in Huddersfield earlier the other evening, on the 26th of October, and been responsible for blowing the fireworks in the wrong direction and singeing a few coats.
Well, hang on. Before I show anything, Paula, did you say? Paula's not followed the rules there, has she?
In what respect?
Can you read that out again, please?
Certainly. Oh, no. I suspect Madge may...
Stop. Start again.
It was a little bit sort of familiar, wasn't it?
No, this was not a definite blame issue. This was a suspicion. Now, the whole point of this slot is called Blame Madge Arwell.
Right.
Not, I suspect Madge Arwell did this. I blame Madge Arwell.
So basically, Paula, we want confirmation one way or the other, please.
Yeah, I'm not doing it until I have definite accusation.
Tim Drury, do you remember him?
Hi, Tim.
Yeah. He blames her,
Excellent.
for the cancellation of the radiophonic workshop tour. Let's look at that. Mainly because I can't wait to see what you do to Mark Ayres. Can you explain that? It's probably got something to do with the wobulator. No, you can't,
No,
can you?
can't.
Let's face facts, no. Anyway, that's that for the moment. Yeah, we're going to record about books this evening. Don't know when it's going to go out, but it'll be recorded. Keep going, Capaldi.
I feel like writing to the man.
Actually, so do I, for the first bloody time ever.
Yeah. No, it's weird you should say that, because I was thinking this just myself. I was thinking I've never felt the need to write to Doctor Who, the programme, before, but I feel the need to write to Peter Capaldi and express how much I appreciate his interpretation of the Doctor.
Shall we do it as a show thing?
Because I know the amount of grief that other people are undeservedly giving him. And I'm not trying to be a brown-noser
Let's
here.
not just do it for Capaldi. Let's send it to Capaldi, but let's basically say, look, it's not just your performance we really love. You know, we're enjoying the writing as well, and the direction. The whole thing is beautiful.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's do it as a show thing, shall we?
Let's do that.
Both of us. From the VidiProg. I'm not certain if the lads on the podcast...
I wouldn't like to speak on their behalf. They may well agree. They may not agree. And
Ian,
either way, it's fine.
like-
But I know you and we are on the same page.
Yeah. I think she's still out there.
Is she looking at... Let's have a look. Can you have a look?
Are you sure you want to do this, Kat? Before we go,
Yeah.
should we find out what Mr. Chris has been up to?
Oh, do you know, I'm quite looking forward to that, because I think it'll be a nice change from all the death and carnage that Madge Arwell brings.
Good point. Bollocks.
Right. That didn't work, did it?
Oh, no, it didn't. Yeah.
Probably ought to go now, really.
Yeah. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Toodles.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more. And life and love and happiness are well worth fighting for. They're well worth fighting for.
I am the spirit of dark and lonely water, ready to trap the unwary, the show-off, the fool. And this is the kind of place you'd expect to find me. But no one expects to find me here. It seems too ordinary. But that pool is deep. The boy is showing off. The bank is slippery. The show-offs are easy. But the unwary ones are easier still. This branch is weak, rotten. It'll never take his weight. Only a fool would ignore this. But there's one born every minute. Under the water there are traps, old cars, bedsteads, weeds, hidden depths. It's the perfect place for an accident.
Oh, look, there's someone in the water. Quick, use that big stick to get him out.
Sensible children. I have no power over them.
Oi, mate, that's a stupid place to swim. Hey, go over and get that thing to wrap him in. You don't feel cold, mate. How long was you in there? Ew, what thing?
I'll be